Hello, welcome to Chapter 10, Lesson 3. It's to scan the lesson, predict two things you'll learn about finding surface area of rectangular prisms. So we will find area. Another thing will be finding area of all the sides. So to find surface, a face of a prism, usually six-sided figures. What is surface area? The sum of all the faces of a prism. So we take all the sides of the rectangular prism and we add them all together. So an example of why we need surface area, one example could be to wrap a present. So the real world link. Roberta is wrapping a gift for her sister's quinceañera. She places it in a box with the measurements shown. What is the area of one face of the box? If you take one face of the box, the area is going to be 10 times 10. And that's going to be 100 inches squared. How many faces does the box have? So we have 1, 2, 3. And then on this side, we got 4. And we have another side over here. And then we have a side on the bottom. So we have 6 sides in total. What operations would you use to find the surface area of the box? Well, I would use multiplication. And in some cases, since this is a cube, we can use multiplication. Another way we can do is adding if it's a rectangular prism that's not a cube. So we have 6 sides, and each side has an area of 100 inches squared. So the surface area, the area of all my sides together, is going to be 600 inches squared. So here's the key concept. Remember, the key concept tells us how to solve. So the surface area of a rectangular prism with the length, width, and the height is the sum of all the areas. So the way we could create a formula, surface area equals 2 times the length times the width, 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the height times the width. Or we can distribute the 2 and do 2 times LH, LW plus HW. You can add all those together and multiply it by 2. These equal the same thing. So just remember, surface area is the area of all the sides. Now if you look here, this is what's called a net, and this is a rectangular prism folded into a two-dimensional shape. So this bottom here is the bottom of this here. So this would be the length here, length here, width, width. This would also be the length. This would be the height. And then this would be the length and the width. So if we folded this together, we would get the three-dimensional shape. So one way to do this is I'm going to try to do this without all the answers right in front of me. So if I take this, first I'm going to find the area of my top. So this is 8 times 6, and that's going to be 48 meters cubed. To my side over here, on the left side, I have 7 times 6. That's going to be 42 meters squared. Now my middle, since this is 7, this is going to be 7, and this is going to be 8. So 8 times 7 is going to be 56. And then on the bottom, if this is 8, that's going to be 8 here. 8 times 6 is 48. And then we have to remember this is 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. And it's going to be 7 again. So 8 times 7 equals 56. Now the next step I need to do is I need to take all my areas and add them together. So the surface area is going to be 292 square meters. So go ahead and try A. I'm going to do A with you guys. So we have 10 times 10 equals 100. 15 times 10 equals 150. This is 15, that's 10. So we have 15 times 10 again equals 150. And then we have 10 and 15, so it's also going to be 150. And 10 times 10, that makes this 100. And since this is 10, this is going to be 150. So I have 6 sides, so I have to make sure I have 6 numbers. 150 plus 150 plus 150 plus 150 plus 100 plus 100. So it's going to be 600, 800. This equals 800 inches squared. So remember, the reason why I needed 6 numbers is because I have 6 different sides in a rectangular prism. So I know I'm going to add 6 areas together. So the other way is finding the formula. And that's if you want to use the formula. This is a long formula to remember. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of using the formula. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways. So this is going to be height, length, and width. So the first one is going to be 2 times length times width. So it's 2 times 7 times, length times height, 4, plus 2LW. So it's going to be plus 2 times 7 times 5, plus 2HW, plus 2 times H is 4 times 5. Whew. So 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 7 is 56, 2 times 5 is 10, times 7 is 70, 2 times 5 is 10, and that's going to be 40. So that's 110, so it equals 166 feet squared. So that's using the formula. But if you're going to use the formula, you're going to have to write it down because this is going to be a hard formula to remember. One thing I know is you have each dimension twice. So I'm going to have my length twice, my width twice, and my height twice in order to make sure I find out. The other way I'm going to do it for figure 3 is I'm going to find the area of the top. And to me, this is the most descriptive to make sure you don't mess up. So the area of my top is going to be here. So I have 7 by 4 8/10. Of course, they would use the decimal. So 7 times 4 8/10. It's going to be 33 6/10. Since this is a rectangular prism, I have 2 options. I can go straight to my bottom, because I know my bottom is going to have the same exact area, 33 6/10, or I can just multiply it by 2, whichever one works. So I'm going to do a side, so this is going to be the left side or right side. So I have 4 8/10 by 6. Yeah, I guess I should write this down, huh? 7 times 4 8/10 equals, was that 33 6/10? So my side is going to be 4 8/10 multiplied by 6. So 4 8/10 times 6 equals 28 8/10. So here's 28 8/10. So my other side is going to have the same exact area. So 4 8/10 times 6 equals 28 8/10. Now I have my top, bottom, I need my front and my back. So my front is 7 times 6 equals 42. So that means my back is going to be 7 times 6 equals 42. Now my last step is to add them all together. So 33 6/10. And then plus 28.8 plus 28 8/10 plus 42 plus 42. That gives me 208. So total 208 8/10 centimeters squared. Or you could use the formula. I just wanted to show you both. Whichever one works best for you. Formula does look quicker though. So go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and do example 3, the fill in the blanks. So go ahead and pause the video and try B. Alright, so for B, there's plenty of different methods to get this. It's 52 meters squared. What I did was I used the formula, but I wanted to use the one where it looks like we're going to be using the distributive property. So I factored out the 2. So length times width plus length times height plus width times height. So I found all my dimensions. This is my length, my width, and my height. So I have length times width is 4 times 3 is 12. Length times height is 4 times 2 is 8. And then width times height is 3 times 2 is 6. Add them together, got 26, multiplied it by 2, and I get 52 meters squared. So there's plenty of different methods to solve this. Whichever one you feel most comfortable with, that's the one you're going to want to use. So I'll use the same one that I just used in the example. So I know I have to do length times width, length times height, and then width times height. So my length is 7, and my height, I'm getting this information here in the problem, by the way. Height is 16. So my length is 7, my width is 3, and then my width is 3, and my height is 16. So multiplying these together, 7 times 10 is 70, then plus 42. So it's 112. Plus 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 6 is 18. So it's 48. So 21 plus 48 is 69. Yeah, get excited. And then 112 plus 69 is going to be 9 plus 2 is 1. And then 8, 1. 181. And we still have to multiply that by 2. So 2 times 181 is going to be 2. And then 2 times 8 is 16. So 362 inches squared. And I know it's a lot of numbers, it's a lot of calculations. It's easy to do, but it's just going to be easy to make a mistake. So just take my advice. I'm going to write it for my students. Take your time. One thing I learned are the students that rush these problems are the ones that get the most incorrect. So take your time. But that's the end of the lesson, so thank you for watching.